A very good afternoon to everyone. My name is Tauseef and I'm an animal rescuer. So before I introduce who am I, what am I do and everything, I have a passion. I'm an animal rescuer. But by profession, I'm a realtor. I've done my MBA from SDM College of Business Management. So at a point of time when everybody was chasing corporate jobs, I was chasing dogs, cats and cows in Bangalore. So a lot of my counterparts thought some issue somewhere down there. And a lot of people kept telling, this fellow is going to land up in Fathomless someday. So here I am today. So thank you. So yeah, today's topic, in accordance to the theme, animals speak to me and I listen. I have a deep-rooted connection with animals. Kahani suno, zubani suno, mujhe pyar hua tha. I fell in love with animals at a very young age. And that's the story I'm going to narrate today. The journey and of course the hurdles in between, of course all the issues that come along. So growing up, we all want to do a lot of things, right? I wanted to do a lot of things, just like Adeline ma'am was speaking in the morning. Someday I wanted to be a doctor, someday I wanted to be a cop, one day I wanted to be a lawyer, someday I wanted to be an ambulance driver, so many things. And my dad used to always say, you need to be a superman, eventually to do all these things. Of course, the only person who successfully and happily managed to do all these things, I realized of late, was Mr. Johnson's, right? So working with animals, one thing I realized of late, I also have been managed to a few of those things at least, because on some days I'm a driver, I'm an ambulance driver, because we're picking up an injured animal and shifting the animal from point A to point B. One day I'm a lawyer, I'm arguing on behalf of the cruelty cases. Someday I'm a doctor, someday I'm a nurse, we're attending to animals in the streets. So who are animal rescuers basically, right? A lot of people have a lot of perceptions in their head that animal rescuers are basically people who have a lot of money and time and are just running behind animals and doing and wasting the time and wasting money. Some people think animal rescuers are people who have farms and there is a lot of animals and things. Some people think we are the people who hold placards and keep protesting on the streets. I am neither of those, right? Although we play these roles somewhere in different parts of our life, but basically I'm an animal rescuer who treats animals on the streets, sick, injured animals. So we play different roles as and when possible. I was born and brought up in a small place called Kudramukh, which is about 100 kilometers away from here. A very small town, very few people. There were more of animals. It's a national park. So my journey basically began from there because we had so many animals. We had elephants coming in our backyards. We had gores, we had foxes, we had peacocks, and snakes was a very regular occurrence. So most of the kids in the cities at that point of time, 14, 15-year-old kids, when they were busy playing video games, I was catching snakes in my backyard. What started as just as a curiosity, as a just like small thing at a very young age, I realized nature was preparing me for something big coming ahead, because after 18 years I moved into Bangalore in 2006 for better education and job prospects. A lot of people have vivid perceptions in their head that when it comes to working for animals, it's all about cute puppies and kittens and taking selfies and cute girls around and all. It's nothing like that. Can you see anyone around? Nobody, right? So it's a vivid thing and it's a very challenging thing. If you can see on the monitor on that side, those are python eggs which were excavated from a railway excavation site. So we had to rescue them, artificially incubate them and release them into the forest. Then you can see a seagull there which was injured. Then there's a dead dog who was lying on the highway for 2 days rotting. Nobody wanted to touch it. So we had to go and bury it. So these are the kind of things that we do every single day. Lot of things, it's not all about cute puppies and kittens. Of course, after a few years of coming into Bangalore and working with animals, I had joined a small NGO as well. I was learning things. So I realized it's not all about picking animals from point A and dropping them to point B. The animal would be in shock, there would be a head injury, there will be blood loss. So how do you work with these things, right? So I underwent a small medical training with a vet, basically a paravets. Paravets are basically like your paramedical stuff. So we go to the place we stabilize the animal if there's a serious injury, and then we shift them. So that vital time that you buy in between, that saves lives. Snakes are one of my most favorite mystical animals. Mythologically, we have a lot of relevance for them. There's a lot of Nagaradne that happens in this part of the world, but unfortunately, snakes were being killed also at one point of time. Of course, in the last 10 to 15 years, it has come down, because every time there's a snake in someone's house or office or school, we go and rescue the animal absolutely free of cost. We don't charge. All we want is don't kill them. We will rescue them and we'll just drop it off outside. So if you can see, there are a few of my rescue cases. That's a python who was injured. We get a lot of these cases whereby they're stuck in the fishing nets. Fishing town, Mangalore is known to be fishing, so a lot of them get stuck in nets, discarded nets, of course. That's a rat snake. There's a cobra which was injured in a JCB excavation injury. So it's being sutured by a doctor there, so I'm holding the snake. Like I said, after the medical training or whatever happened, 80% of my cases today are treated then and there. We have devised a thing called on-site treatment. So every time there's a sick or injured dog, for example, if there's a dog or a cow who is sick or injured in Father Muller's campus, so someone reports it, I come there, we assess the situation. If the animal can be treated, the animal is treated then and there. We don't forcibly capture the animal, because a lot of animals die because of cardiac arrest when they're forcibly captured. And that is the reality, unfortunately, putting nets and catching them, because they are unfamiliar to human touch, right? Over a period of time of doing all these things, I wanted to do something beyond just working on the ground. We started realizing that the next generation that comes has to be more kinder, right? So we started going to different schools and colleges, started doing something called humane education programs. So everybody says being human being. I think we have to go beyond being human and we have to start being humane, right? Project Reflective College. This is one of my favorite projects that I started in 2018. I think in my honest opinion, there are two ways of solving any issue that our society has today, right? It's either a reactive measure or either a proactive measure. Reactive is basically, in my line of work, is a stimulus. Once a dog meets with an accident, you go to the spot, treat the dog there, and then you do something about it. But what if you make a proactive measure whereby you can actually stop that accident happening from altogether? So we designed neon material collars and we started tagging dogs on the streets. So thereby what happens was, every time your headlight of your vehicle in the middle of the night, when it falls in the collar of the dog, it reflects back, thereby giving you a signal that you have to slow down or stop. Again, one more proactive project, Home Sweet Home. This was basically done to bring back sparrows into the city limits, because sparrow population has continuously declined all these years. Project Gel. It's a project that we do every year during summers. Hundreds and thousands of birds in Mangalore, and of course everywhere, they die just because they don't get drinking water. That's the pathetic situation that our world has come to today. So what we do is we make bowls made out of mud and cement, and we distribute free of cost. Whoever is interested, they can come and collect it from us. Every summer we do this. By the beginning of February, do it. So they can come and collect. We have usually in three sizes: small, large, and XL, for all kinds of birds, animals, and large animals. So people can place it in their driveways, terraces, wherever they want. All they have to do is just fill water, go they see, stop running behind pedigreed animals. A lot of us do not know the issue that goes behind pedigreed animals and the breeding that happens. Breeders are basically people who live off the womb of animals. So what they do is, every time you buy a puppy or a kitten from a pet shop, you are encouraging that breeder to breed more. The normal breeding cycle of a dog or a cat is once in a year. So because of our demand, they breed them 3, 4, 5 times in a year. Say a dog or a cat which can live for about 10 to 15 years naturally, they die at the age of 2 or 3 because of overbreeding. The rectum collapse happens. So many other things. Boycott anything that encourages animal cruelty. Zoos, pet cafes, circuses, all these places commercially exploit animals. It's because of our demand that the supply exists. You stop going there, it stops. As simple as that. So many things that we can do in our own everyday life as well, right? Dietary choices. We don't need to wear silk. Is silk really needed is a question. Silk is nothing but a graveyard of cocoons which are boiled alive in hot water. And we start our auspicious life on a wedding day wearing Kanchivaram sari and this and that. And imagine how many dead bodies are there on your body, right? I've seen people saying, "Much I'm pure vegetarian, I don't harm animals and all." But then you see them wearing leather shoes on their legs and everything and all. You don't need to wear someone else's skin on your feet, right? So all these things, I think it's very easy for us to somehow avoid and cut down some harm somewhere at least. Cows at one point of time, were revered very holy. And if you see family pictures in the 50s and 60s at one point of time, there are actually cows standing in the family picture. It was that close of a bond. Unfortunately now, cows have become farmed animals. They are mostly in the farms, of course, and 100, 200, 300 cows everywhere. And these cows are there because they give milk, as simple as that. And for a cow to give milk, the cow has to be impregnated, artificially inseminated every single year. And every time the cow gets pregnant, there's a lot of impact on the cow as well. But more than anything, why is this happening? It is because the demand for the taste buds that we have, for your cheese, for your butter, for your ghee, all these things, these are the things that create demand, and they are exploited there every single time. This was something we did in 2018. On a Bakrid day, we wanted to do a symbolic gesture of bloodless Eid. I've never been a fan of anything of sacrifices and all these things, but we made a cake, put 2 goats on it, and we wrote inverted commas, "My happy Bakrid," and we went to Anganwadi. So we cut the cake there, we celebrated with the kids, we distributed, we danced, ate happily, we distributed stationeries, books, and we said, this is the way you can actually celebrate. You don't have to kill an innocent animal, right? You don't have to shed blood to reach out to poor people. You can reach out to poor people this way as well. Of course, the trend continues also. A lot of my friends, they say, oh, we had no idea. So they continue to do this. Of course, the backlash was always there, but nobody gives a damn about it. The good, bad, and ugly of working with animals. The good things are obviously you work with animals, not people, so that's the good part. Bad part is, of course, a lot of bad things. Finances are always bad. I personally spend more than ₹1,00,000 every month on medications, surgeries, food, vet supplies, and a lot of things. Of course, a lot of your savings get drained. Few of your friends and close family friends have come here, they help you around, but then the money is never enough. It's a huge ocean. Government support, government doesn't give a damn. Government doesn't care about you, doesn't care about me. All they want is our taxes. So government has the last thing on their mind about animals. Cruelty cases, pain, mental health. There's a lot of pain, misery. Every single day you see blood, pain. Most of our animals are reported in a very bad stage in the end. So a lot of deaths do happen. It causes a lot of mental health issues as well. Simplest examples, we get a lot of these maggot cases, animals infected with maggots. So we go there, we catch the animal, we treat it. No matter whatever kind of gloves you wear, right, on your hands, that stench of that necrosis remains in your hand for at least 2 to 3 days. You can't have food with your hands. It's that bad. So you have to use your spoons and everything. So these are the kind of things that usually people don't get to see. Lack of support, public doesn't care. Public only wants you when they have snakes in their house. Other than that, nobody's there. So no safety, no insurance. A lot of times we get injured. Recently I was tossed and flipped by a bull in NMPT when I was treating it. I have a little bit of lower back injury. Even if you can't do good to them, I think we should just let them be. Because they also have the same pain and hunger we have. They are also mothers. They also get old. So I think ultimately they should be given their space. Let them thrive. Let them be happy. And ultimately, I think we are all the rightful inheritors of this planet, just like the Mother Nature created. So yeah, I think I would like to thank everyone for patiently listening to me. Thank you.